Okay, kung nung last week, Sandro, tinutukan ng ating sambayanan yung Senate hearing kaugnay pa rin doon sa may PDAP scam, talagang etong linggong to maraming dapat abangan. Like for example, ngayong umaga, alas 11 ng umaga, takdang magsampa na ng kaso ang DOJ sa pangunguna ni Secretary Leila de Lima at ng NBI patungkol nga dito sa mga dapat ng kasuhan sa yung mga nasa likod daw ng PDAP scam. At kaugnay nga yan, makakapanayam natin ngayon dito live sa PTV News Center si Attorney Trixie Angeles, spokesperson ng Integrated Bar of the Philippines. Attorney, magandang umaga po ulit.
Magandang umaga, Attorney.
Magandang umaga din po.
Yes. Attorney, siguro maganda po na pag-usapan po muna natin kasi ang sinasabi nga po ay plunder daw ang kasong ihahain kay Ms. Janet Lim Napoles. Maganda po sigurong ma-define niyo po para sa ating mga manonood kung ano nga ba po ang plunder.
Similar kasi ang plunder dun sa elements ng graft. So, ibig sabihin, we're talking about government funds, pero ang difference nito is that it has to be in the amount of 50 million or higher, or higher than 50 million. Okay. So, ang magka-characterize nga is the amount plus ang penalty niya is capital punishment, which is the death penalty dito sa ano na to, sa batas na ito.
Yes.
So, Attorney, etong umagang ito, ang mga makakasuhan pa lamang itong mga tinutukoy ni Ben Horluy nung last investigation?
Well, it depends no kung anong complaint niya yung gagamitin. So in particular, if the ones na nag-name na particular na people who have been involved in the release of public money to false NGOs, then sila yung lilitaw. There's no official pronouncement yet, so we'll have to wait. What we do know is that this is set for filing for preliminary investigation. We're not sure if it's going to be filed in the court because the nature of the IAAGCC by itself, hindi rin malinaw eh. Are they conducting investigation in the sense of the law enforcement investigation or preliminary investigation for purposes of determining probable cause? So if it is the second, then the filing will be in court, which means sa Sandigan Bayan or sa regular courts, depending on the jurisdictions. In this case, kung senators yung magiging respondent dito, Sandigan Bayan tayo.
Okay. So ma'am, alam naman po natin na meron din pong mga nagaganap na Senate hearing nga po for the past weeks. Ano po yung mangyayari ngayon na kumbaga pag na-yan na yung kaso na ito, matutuloy pa rin po ba itong Senate hearing na to? Or is this a separate investigation, kumbaga a separate thing as a whole? Or kumbaga magka-cancel out? Ano po ang mangyayari dito?
Well, the Senate investigation is primarily in aid of legislation or to determine whether or not one of their colleagues has been in misconduct, so to speak, for purposes of disciplining one. So iba ang jurisdiction ng Senado dun sa jurisdictions ng let's say ng Ombudsman or ng DOJ. Sa DOJ and Ombudsman, they're there to determine probable cause so that if the case will withstand a trial on the merits. In the Senate, there are two purposes. One is to determine nga if the conduct of one of their colleagues deserves discipline. Or second, if there is a need to change the laws or to amend the laws or repeal them for purposes of being more responsive to situations like this. So, one does not have anything to do with the other.
Okay. Kumbaga sa Senado, in aid of legislation lang.
Yes.
Okay. Attorney, last week may mga nag-file na rin ng kaso bukod pa yung ipa-file ngayon ng DOJ at saka ng NBI. Sa Ombudsman, nag-file ng kaso ang Citizens Watch ng kasong plunder kay Janet Lim Napoles at 5 pang mga mambabatas. Ano naman po ang kaibahan nito?
Wala naman. Ang difference lang is that yung complainant in the NBI case has personal knowledge. Whereas yung dun sa kabilang kaso, dun sa Citizens Watch, their basis for filing the complaint is public documents. So both cases have their own merits, although I understand nagko-coincide yung evidence nila. So wala, pareho lang naman silang both parties do have the standing to file the criminal cases.
Okay, Attorney, yung nakaraang linggo sa may Senate hearing, may mga naitanong doon sa may witness na si Ben Horluy na may mga finorge daw silang mga pirma na mga mambabatas. Gaano ba to katibay na alibay para sa mga nasasangkot?
Well, ganito yan, no? Ang nagde-determine yan, usually, you have to go to court to question the validity of signatures. However, during the course of investigation by a law enforcement agency, it is also possible for either the NBI or the PNP to conduct an investigation into what is by now what we call a question document. So meron division, for example, sa NBI called the Question Documents Division, where they can analyze signatures and determine whether or not they are forgeries, if they are real, if they're consistent. The PNP Crime Lab has the same capacity. So if during the course of the investigation, let's say the DOJ secretary or the PNP chief or the DILG secretary certify that the evidence must be verified or validated by QDD or by the crime lab, then they can do so even before going to court. So that as an alibi, it depends. No? It depends on the circumstances. By itself, it will be difficult because you have against you law enforcement agencies who are themselves filing the cases. So bali yung complainant dun sa isang kaso is the NBI and or the PNP. So, and they are the ones who can conduct, who have the expertise to conduct a determination of whether or not the signatures are forgeries.
Yes.
So, strategically, it's difficult, and tactically, he's going to have a problem because ina-attack mo na yung credibility ng investigating agencies.
Okay. Attorney, kung sinasabi mong medyo complicated o medyo mahirap, doon pa lang sa alibay na yon.
Yes.
As a lawyer, ito po ba sa nakikita ninyo in the long run, gaano katagal to? Matatapos po ba ito bago matapos ang Aquino administration o probably sa susunod pang administrasyon?
Well, it depends, no? Usually, in an ordinary criminal case, pagka sinampa natin yan for preliminary investigation, the prosecutor has 90 days to determine whether or not there's probable cause. Then it goes up to the city prosecutor or provincial prosecutor to uphold or to review the case and then finally to file it with the court. Even in the course of that, for example, pumunta sa city or provincial prosecutor, pwede pa kung gusto nung akusado or ng suspect to appeal that to the DOJ secretary, but it will go to court already. It will be up to the appellant to see if, kung masususpend niya yung proceedings in the court or if the judge will allow them a 60-day suspension. So we're looking at 90 days sa prosecution possibly, sa determination of probable cause, and then we're looking at possibly another 60 days for a motion for recon or an appeal to the appropriate secretaries, and then we go up to the courts, and then there are other remedies available at the first instance bago pa lang na-arraign. So, and we're also looking at respondents who have very powerful law firms behind them. So we're looking at some serious time before this sees a conviction,
Okay.
if any.
Matagal-tagal pala na panahon ng ating aandayin bago natin makitang malagot at lumabas ang katotohanan behind all of this.
Well, the Filipino people are hoping na medyo mas maikli with the leadership of CJ Chief Justice Sereno and syempre yung mga reforms sa ating judiciary, sana mapabilis yung mga kasong ganito.
Yes.
Well, ma'am, after filing yung mga kaso this morning, ano po yung susunod? Required po ba na yung mga respondent ay sumagot doon sa mga kasong ganito?
So if this is for preliminary investigation, the complaint affidavit will be formally responded to. By now, they will be called respondents. So kailangan sagutin nila yung complaint affidavit na yon, and then the complainants have an opportunity na sagutin yung sagot. So pwede silang mag-reply and then pwede pang mag-rejoinder yung kabila. But it depends, no? In this case, if the body determining probable cause is the IAAGCC, it's a very long name, will do so, and it's in consonance with the current rules of the DOJ, then allowed pa yung mga sagot na yon. After that, there's still a motion for reconsideration, etc. But I'd like to point out, no, the length of the time that it takes to litigate a case is not determinant of whether or not justice is served. Kasi meron tayong binabalanse na interest. Yung interest of somebody who can be wrongfully accused versus the interest of the public to see speedy justice. In both cases, actually, both parties are interested in a speedy determination of the case. But at the same time, you don't want to deprive any party of an opportunity that they have under the law, or a right that they have under the law to fast the point of public satisfaction might mean that we're also going to play fast and loose with the rules that are still in effect. On the other hand, the Supreme Court naman has been reviewing the rules both of criminal and civil procedure to determine how we can make things faster. So, walang fault dito kung magtagal. We're starting to look at an ampatuan scenario here.
Okay. Pero attorney, ang aking gustong malaman dito, no? Kung ang media covering this case, umaabuso ba? Kasi ang sa batas natin, unless proven guilty, inosente pa rin tong sila Janet Lim Napoles at saka yung iba pang nasasangkot. Pero lumalabas even sa mga reaction ng netizens o reaction ng publiko sa kabi-kabilang mga rally na para bang nagkaroon na ng judgment. Hindi pa man tapos itong kaso. Ano po bang dapat basehan dito?
Well, the public cannot be faulted for reacting the way it does. First, they're not lawyers. They're not there to make a judgment of guilt or innocence. For them, whatever information is available, they can make their own opinion on that. And that is also a right guaranteed by the Constitution. The freedom of speech. That freedom of speech includes the right to be wrong in your speech. It even the right to lie, provided that there is no restraint on this speech. On the other hand, the right of the accused or respondent in this case to be presumed innocent is a right that is contained within the proceedings. So although that is true, she does have a right to be presumed innocent. The public in turn has a right to speak their mind.
Well, yung sinabi nyo, may karapatan ng publiko na magsalita kung anong opinion nila dito. Ito po ba yung opinion po ba or public opinion, meron pang effect ito sa magiging judgment din ng korte o talagang base lahat sa may ebidensya? May pressure po ba?
Well, of course there is pressure. Definitely there is pressure. The judges, the justices later on, even those who will make the determination of probable cause, they are human. So they are also subject to the usual human weaknesses and failings. When we subject any person to the judicial or to the legal processes, we also have to understand that the people who execute this are human and they are subject to other influencing factors. That being said, there is a system of constant review. For example, sa probable cause pa lang may motion for recon, you can ask these people who administer the system of justice to take another look. But you have to be able to show na may dahilan kung bakit. Sige na, tingnan mo na, meron kayong hindi nakita, meron kayong argument na hindi na-consider, merong ebidensya na hindi na ipasok. Parating may opportunity din to do that. But at some point, titigil din yung proseso. So it's really a balance. Kailangan, ang role ng media, importante. Kasi in the end, the amount of information will give us a better idea, a better view of whether or not justice is served.
Okay. Attorney, sinabi nyo kanina, Sandra, amount of information. Curious lang po ako. Halimbawa, ang isang network, TV network or print na news, nauuna sa paglalabas ng ebidensya kaysa yung mga abogado ng mga kinakasuhan. Ito po ba may pwedeng kasuhan din itong mga network na to o yung mga media?
Actually, it depends. No? If it is still at preliminary investigation, walang walang what we call contempt. But when it is in court, tapos naglilitis na ng kaso, the court can issue, let's say, gag orders on the lawyers and of course all the court personnel para hindi magli-leak ng information. That being said, if the media outfit or the media company is not covered by the jurisdiction of the court, meaning hindi naman sila partido dun sa kaso, it's going to be a little difficult for the courts to impose a penalty on the media. That being said then, meron siyempre ethical considerations. No? But since the job of media is to reveal information rather than hide it, I would go for more information rather than less.
Kasi alam natin, Kuya Audrey, yung media talaga, parang malaking arm yan at malaking bagay yan. Kung baga sinasabi nila, isa pang part ng gobyerno yan. Dahil parang pwede mong ipakita in a different angle at pwede mong i-manipulate kung ano yung nakikita ng inyong mga manonood para mag-iba yung kanilang isip sa kanilang nakikita.
At usually dyan, Sandro, unahan yan.
Yun nga.
Unahan ng pag-cover kung sino yung makaka-discover ng mga may involved dyan sa may scam na yan.
Pero ito po, ma'am, siguro dahil alam naman po natin na yung mangyayari today, what do you think is to be expected po in the following days. Alam natin mahaba yung proseso, pero yung kumbaga yung mainit pa rin yung balita ngayon dahil sa mangyayari. And sa mga next few days po, ano yung mga i-expect natin na mangyayari?
Well, we will expect, of course, the respondents to say that they will come up with their counter affidavits, that they will answer the allegations in the appropriate forum if they don't want to make any public statements. In the meantime, we will have an opportunity to look very closely at makita natin yung mga detalye na sinasabi dito ng ating mga whistleblowers at ng mga complainants dito sa kaso. Also, I will expect that certain statements regarding yung mga dahil makikita na natin yung complaint, no? Lalabas na sa social media at saka sa regular media yung analysis ng complaint. And I think this is a good thing, di ba? Kasi makikita na natin right off the bat kung may chance of surviving yung complaint dito, regardless of public opinion. So that's the best that we can expect for. Mas magandang makita natin pag nasa court na. Kasi we're talking about actual evidence. Tapos makikita na natin yung theory o yung defense theory ng mga respondents dito.
Pero ito, attorney, sa tingin niyo po, in a lawyer's perspective, gaano po ba kalakas yung kaso against these officials and pati na rin kay Ms. Janet Lim Napoles with all the evidence and all the whistleblowers that have come out? Gaano po, is this enough na po ba? Or kumbaga, kailangan pa rin po ba ng extra evidences or whistleblowers to testify?
Okay, caveat. Based lang on the evidence that we see, no, that has been talked about. So I understand na the whistleblowers do have in their possession documents. And in those documents are signatures of certain legislators and officials pertaining to the release of public funds. And then the release of public funds was not, the conditions for the release were not complied with. For example, they were not used for a public purpose, or they were released to dubious organizations who in turn disbursed the money to private persons for their own private benefit. So in this case, on its face, masasabi talaga natin may probable cause. There is reason to go to court. In court, kasi nga may mga subject na to the defenses, for example, how certain documents were obtained, pwede nang mag-raise ng mga issues of the fruit of the poisonous tree, etc. So maraming available na defenses. What we can see here is that at the very least may probable cause. There is reason to go to court. Yung guilt or innocence, kailangan makita natin yung defense. By itself, ang prosecution evidence, kahit malakas yan, we've seen some very, very good lawyers come up with major surprises.
Okay. Sandra, alam mo nakakatuwa na dahil tayong mga non-lawyers, marami tayong natututunan sa mga interview ganito. Kaya po, inihikayat natin yung ating mga boss dyan o ating mga kababayan na tutukan yung ganitong kaso, no? Para kung sakasakaling mauulit na may mga pang-aabusong ganito, para bang
mas maintindihan natin at mas mulat na tayo bagay dahil meron nga tayong mga syempre katulad nga ni Ma'am Trixie, natuturuan tayo at napapaintindi sa atin kung paano talaga dapat tignan at i-analyze yung mga ganitong bagay. Instead na kaya nga nasabi natin mga ibang netizens natin talagang opinion based lang na para kung ano yung nakita ay minsan nagre-react agad talaga.
Pag natagalan, naiinip, magagalit na sa gobyerno. May proseso na sinusunod. Okay, maraming salamat sa mga ibinahagi nyo sa aming impormasyon ngayon, Attorney Trixie. At sa pagpapatuloy po ng investigasyon na ito at ng kasong ito, ay hopefully makasama ka uli namin.
Okay, thank you. Pero correction lang, hindi na po akong spokesman ng IBP. Tapos na po yung term ko as of July. I'm here today as a legal analyst, legal political analyst. Thank you.
Maraming salamat.
Maraming salamat po. At nakasama natin ngayon ang expert legal analyst, si Attorney Trixie Angeles.